Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Studio Series 09. This is Gamer Edition Autobot Ratchet. So in this video we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging, and then going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. We'll have a look how he looks on his background, and of course we'll see how he looks and compares to other Ratchet figures, and indeed pretty much the rest of the toy line from the Studio Series Gamer Editions. So before we get started, I need to thank In Demand Stores in the UK, because that's where I purchased this from, and they got it to me nice, quickly and safely. The other thing as well is, of course, to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if they'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. Look at this beautiful, I'm going to say artwork, but this must be, of course, how he appeared in the game. Yes, that's right, guys. Unfortunately, I've got no experience in playing the actual game, but I just love the figures, so I know it's something that I need to get around to doing. But the box is stunning. This is a Voyager class. It feels nice and heavy, and funnily enough, I've had the privilege of being able to have a look and mess around with the prototypes of this figure, but this is my actual first impressions of the finished article, because the ones that you may or may not have seen on this channel from the MCM Comic Con were all completely different colors, different test pieces, and I couldn't really transform them. So this is my first experience, and that feels really weighty for a start. It looks like there's a lot to it. Yeah, it is. It's quite chunky, which I think is great. This is his backing scene, which I'm not going to say moan, I just sort of say that I see their purpose, but I don't, if you know what I mean. I think the majority of people surely would buy more than one figure from a collection, so I think it would be much better if they all sort of pieced together and you could have a bigger scene or a bigger diorama. And yeah, again, maybe that's all I'm going to say in it anyway. But there he is. I'm going to set him free from there, and we're going to come straight back to you. So I've got him transformed into his alternate mode to start off with. First and foremost, quick apologies, no transformation process on this video. I'm sure you've already noticed that I've already uploaded it separately, so for those of you who want to see it, you can, and for those who don't want it spoiling, you can just obviously not watch it because it's not on here. Right, now I've got the backing for what it's worth, and as I said, I think I made my opinion, and that's one of the main reasons why my opinion on these isn't always the greatest, because it doesn't even fit on it for a start. I'm sure it'll look better in robot mode, but I just wanted to show you that there. Transformation process, as you can see, says on the back 28 steps, and it was really quite intricate, and it is. And again, I want to address this straight away. This feels chunky, it feels big, it feels robust. It basically feels like a good old-fashioned Voyager class figure, and what I mean by that is exactly that. Really robust. All the wheels are on separate pins, they go around no problem whatsoever. It's not too hollow. The transformation process does hide pretty much a lot of the things, as I said, so people who want to experience that for the first time, they will be able to without me ruining it for them. There's quite a few panels on it as well, so that sort of gives you an idea of how much is going on. Now, very quickly, and I know it's completely different, there is Generation 1 Ratchet, which, you know, this is 2 times the size of. Now, I was going to get Studio Series 86, but it's again just based on that ambulance one, whereas this again isn't the greatest, but this was I think it was a very, very big deluxe, wasn't it? So it's longer in length but nowhere near as wide. It looks like it's going a bit white, I mean yellow, unfortunately, and again a lot hollower. This feels much lighter than this one does. I suppose in regard to some of today's more modern or more up-to-date figures, shall we say, there's Transformers 1 Optimus, there's Earthrise Optimus. Funnily enough, loads of Optimuses. I've got a G1 Optimus, and I'm going to bring in the Stranger Things vehicle as well. So just to give you an idea of scale and size, they're of course not all supposed to scale together, but that is exactly what I've just said to give you an idea of the scale. Now, what I also really like about this is you can, if you wanted to, on the back you've got 2 cutouts there, you've got 2 little notches, yeah, this side, so you can also pop that there. I don't really like the look of that, again, in honesty, and again there's 2 tabs there and there's 2 cutouts here, so I think, can you put it both ways around? Let's have a look. So you can pop it that way around. That looks a little bit menacing, looks a bit like could be doing a duel, but to be fair, it doesn't come too far over. I presume that you could turn it around as well. Let's have a quick look. I've not had a go at this, I perhaps should have. You can't really, but you sort of can if you want to. But what I know that you can do, because I've been mucking around, and I don't think it's in the instructions because it's not supposed to, it is just a case of balancing it on one of them tabs. You can pop that on the roof. It will stay in, it doesn't come out, it will hold it. It's, as I say, it's not the proper full-size tab, but you can put either one of them in, and I think that perhaps looks, again, perhaps a little bit more menacing, a little bit more like it's, I don't know, exactly that, more menacing, looks like it's more dangerous, shall we say. That's just a bit of fun that you can do with it. There's nowhere else that you can store this, unfortunately. I mean, that probably will tab in there, but that of course is no use to you whatsoever. So to be honest, there's not much more to say about him in this alternate mode. It does look really good, and as I say, they've done a real good job of just making it look futuristic. And I've had a quick look at some, you know, stills from the game, and it looks very much like he did appear in the game. So of course that's what they're going for, and that's, I think, all there is to say about it. So let's come back for the final time and have a look at him in his robot mode. Right then, back for the final time with him in his robot mode, and this is definitely the way that I'm going to be displaying him, because hopefully now in this section I can just give you an idea, I suppose, of just how good he actually is. It's actually really surprising, as I say, in hand, and being able to, you know, play with this one, whereas, as I say, with the prototypes you couldn't really do too much with. So there he is with his background, and again, you know, it is what it is, but I know some people want to see it, so I'm going to take it out of the way. So the figure itself, it's intended to be an off-white color, which I think is a good idea, because as we've seen, unfortunately, that with some Ratchet figures and with a lot of white plastic figures, they do tend to fade. And again, it's nothing to do with sun fade a lot of the time, it's just to do with the molecules in the plastic. So I think that's quite a safe and a much better idea to go with it. Right, now I need to just tab them back in. They do come out, they do actually allow a little bit of an ankle tilt and an ankle pivot, but I just can't work out why, because it's only so small. So it's a little, that's a teeny bit pointless. Unless there's something I'm missing, please do let me know in the comments if I am missing something. Again, it's the only way that I'm going to learn as well. So if we have a look at the head sculpt, which indeed is brilliantly detailed, look at this, if I can get this a bit closer. There you go. Actually looks like he's got a beard. This will rotate. Will it go all the way around? Yes, it will. I thought it was going to be restricted there, and I've just jinxed myself. No, it's not. You've just got to angle it, but you don't need to spin it all the way around anyway. Also looks up and down, which is brilliant. These shoulder pads are completely independent, which gives you a lot more articulation in the arms. You can go right up like so. That also means you can spin these around completely unrestricted. You've got a swivel at the shoulder, you've got a flexion at the bicep, you've got wrist swivel, you've got loads of stuff going on. Again, you can maneuver these however you want. These are on ball and sockets, so they look really good as well. You do have, if I lift the arms up, you've got a waist swivel all the way around, completely unrestricted, and as you can see, not really much of a gap. The thing at the back I'm going to show you in a minute is really cool. That's why you've got this there. I'm going to show you that in a second. Great little addition to the actual figure. You can kick the leg all the way up and all the way back, so you can get the splits if you wanted to, and you could probably go, yeah, so you can get the splits either way if you wanted to. There is a thigh, it's not the thigh swivel, it's a knee swivel, but it's pretty much going to give you the same effect. Huge knee bend, ankle tilt, slight rock, which you've just seen. It does move ever so slightly, but it is ever so small, and the toes you can position as well. Let me bring both of these toes down and just stand him up straight. So let me show you his accessories. Let me show you why I think this is pretty cool. Yes, you can still, in fact, I know this gets asked quite a lot. So the weapon that you can obviously replace for his arm can still be held in his hand as well. I know a lot of people asked that with regards to the side swipe figure. So what you can do, of course, is you can take the right arm. This is the gimmick for all of the gamer figures. The right arm does come off like so, and then you can just attach. If I got that the right way round, I know that it will fit, and it'll fit really snug, to be honest. So there you go, you can spin that around. I probably could have put it the other way, I just perhaps wasn't forcing it in enough. Let's have a quick look, just again in case anybody asks. You pretty much can, but I think it's definitely only supposed to go, yeah, it won't go that way. So for anybody wondering, it looks like it's just going to go that way over the top. But this is what's really cool now. Look, you can take this backpack off via these two little tabs. You've got a tab there on the back, you've got a cutout there on the back. So what you can do is you can then pop the arm literally into the back like so, cover this up and re-tab it over, so you could store the arm as well as having that weapon, which I think is brilliant. I love it when figures do that. I love the fact that you can store the weapons on the back or inside the figure, and just, you know, so you haven't got to have an accessory box anywhere near or two at the side. And let's be honest, even though I like this figure, all of that on the back, it's just not the greatest. So what they've managed to do, and I know it's a much smaller figure, but I'm just giving you an idea and showing you how much they've managed to improve things by tucking it all away, which works out really, really well. And same for the giant axe. The giant axe is brilliant. So what you do is you'd slide this through the hand like so. This should come up. There we go. Once you've popped it through, you can then of course attach this to it, and this is definitely now my new favorite from the Gamer series. It's so clever, and I can't wait for the Ironhide as well. And yes, of course, it's going to be the same mold with different colors, but it just looks, I mean, that looks incredible, doesn't it? To be fair, I really think it does. I mean, it's like something that I've never sort of seen before as well. As I say, I know I need to get playing that game, but yeah, the detail on the chest, the Autobot logo, these are reflecting, which is brilliant. I like the fact that some of these, like this there and the knee pads, they're sort of reflective, whilst the rest of the red is just like your matte colour, no reflection to it at all. Not too many gaps, as I say. Everything seems to be folded up and all tucked away quite neatly. Have I got that right? I think I have, looking at that. It just, yeah, it just feels big and robust. So let's bring in a few Ratchet figures, because again, this guy's not short of a few reissues down the generations toy line. So we've got the last War for Cybertron ones, which was of course not based on the game, it was based on the trilogy. And again, look, he had 2 uses of the mold there. Then for a bit of fun, let's go with his original, and then let's go, yes, that is the original one if you've never seen it. And then with, I know I could have used the dead one because that is the more recent use of this particular mold, but I just thought I'd bring this guy out. So you've pretty much got most recent mold. Again, the dead one was the most recent figure, this one and this one. And as I say, you can really see now the intention of the off-white colouring, which I think it's going to do them. I think it's a great idea, because again, there's going to be so many people who do moan, and grantly so, you know, you're allowed to moan the fact that if they do go yellow, that's the last thing you want. So by nipping it in the bud and making it not white, it means they'll get away with it, obviously. Right, let's bring in just a couple of other figures to give you an idea of size. So there is Transformers 1. They're both deluxe class, but they're also quite big and look really thin compared to him. Just because he's here, let's bring in Generation 1 Soundwave, because I know a lot of people who watch this channel also collect G1. There is, that's the new one, I think. Yeah, that's not the, what's it called? That's not the Nemesis Bridge, it's the new one. Funnily enough, let's do a few third-party figures. Now, these aren't supposed to scale together, it's to give you an idea of scale and size. So you've got Magic Square, we've got New Age. I've got another New Age as well, because that's a big New Age figure. And then very quickly, in fact, let's bring in, of course, the new industry standard Optimus Prime, which is great. Funnily enough, just because he's here as well, because this is, of course, the Gamer Megatron mold. That is Flame, so that's going to give you an idea of how big he is. Not much more to do with other random figures, but what I am going to do is bring into you the cast Autobots so far of the Gamer Edition. So there is your little Bumblebee, which pretty good, let's be honest, pretty good. But what, again, the good thing about Ratchet is he's a brand new mold of a figure, of a toy that we didn't have. We had an original Bumblebee, obviously, and we had an original Optimus Prime. I'm loving these giant axes, they're just amazing. Whereas the Ratchet figure didn't get released in the Generations toy line like these two did. But there you go, guys, that is the Autobot contingent so far of the War for Cybertron Gamer Edition Studio Series figures. Let me know which is your favourite. Let me know if you think you're going to be getting him. I think he's spectacular. Thanks for watching. Take care.